Hey ya, 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 hey ya. All praise and glory to the Most High. Hey ya. Good afternoon, everyone. About to get my day started. Hit the open road. Get up and down these interstates. Wanted to share a couple of things with you guys before I get my day started. I want to say peace and blessings to all those searching for the indigenous truth, all those who are putting in their time, effort, and energy to educate our people on the indigenous truth about who they are, about their ancestors, so on and so forth. Thank you for all you do. It's greatly appreciated. May the Most High bless you, your households, and everything that you do. Okay. I wanted to share a story with you guys out of this publication called The Black Chronicles. Or excuse me, Black Chronicle. All right. Let's see. All right. From the slavery era, 1778, to the civil rights, excuse me, from the slavery era, 1778, to the beginning of the civil rights movement, 1956. All right, pay attention to them dates. Keep those dates in mind. It's very important, especially some of us are compiling information. We're getting bits and pieces, little puzzle pieces. You know, it's important. Don't throw these, certain things, which I'll show you. Important that you compile that information, because what you will start to find out is once you start putting these little puzzle pieces together, certain things don't make, certain things may not add up. Timelines, certain things that they claim to happen couldn't have possibly happened the way they said they happened according to these timelines. So keep that in mind. It's just a suggestion. All right, but before I get to this story, I believe I found the baby in the bathwater, as King Drop likes to say. And by the way, I got my shirt. It's at home. I'm on my way to the house, so can't wait to try that on. It's a Drop Nation shirt. Been waiting for that in the mail. All right. Before I get to that story, I wanted to share something out of this information from NAAIP. That is the National Association for the Advancement of Indigenous People. The director of this organization is Himak Shulap. Okay? All right. Now, Lex Will and Let Us Find the Truth actually covered this information. I got this after I saw Lex Will do a video on this information. I downloaded this from Let Us Find the Truth website. Okay? So, I'm not sure what's going on with his YouTube page or YouTube channel or his website, whatever, but I haven't had a chance to get back on his information. But if you cannot find this, you can actually just request the membership and information pack from NAAIP, and this comes with it. But what this is real quick. Excuse me. I gotta get my Fred Sanford on. Right. What this is they filed the International Affidavit and Notice of Constructive Fraud, Identity Theft, Unlawful Conversion, Economic Deception, and Ethnic Cleansing against American Aborigine people, demand for identity correction. Okay? They sent this to, or this was filed, John H. Thompson, Director of Foreign Trade, and Penny Pritzker, Secretary of Commerce, United States of America. And if I'm not mistaken, they're actually going to Washington, D.C. to deal with this month. All right. So, all right. But what I wanted to bring your attention to, which Lex covered some of this in his video, they give a history a timeline of history. All right, and it's about, let's see, it starts from 1640 and it goes to, I believe, 2014. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, about, what is it, 5, 6, 7. All right, yeah. So, excuse me. It starts from 1640 and it goes up to 2014. All right. Now, again, Lex covered some of this. I'm not going to read all of this. And I'm just going to, like, in 1640, evidence suggests that Negroes are becoming enslaved in the tobacco colonies. During this period, there is no transatlantic slave trade to America. All right. 1649, 300 Negroes in Virginia, about 2% of the population, and during this period there is no transatlantic slave trade. All right, let's see. Slaves begin in 1680. Slaves begin an increase in population from 4.6% in 1680 to over 20% in 1750 in the South, from 5.7% to nearly 40%. This was also accomplished without transatlantic slave trade participation. All right, so I would read through all of this history again. You know, you read through this history timeline, and you compare it to other information you may have to see how it jives, because we know what we're dealing with. This beast. You know, they just be, you know, they'll show us pictures and, you know, letters and poems, and we just run with it, you know, like it's true. All right. You know, that whole picture with the slave ship. I mean, we just ran with that shit. All right. I mean, I understand why we were miseducated, but I mean, you know, come on, man, a picture. But anyways, so I wanted to start from, all right. Okay, 1775. So remember that date, 1778. All right, what did it say? From the slavery era, 1778. Now, I know there were a lot of other things going on before that time period, you know, dumb diverses, all that. You know, I'm not, but I'm just talking about from 1775, the American Revolution begins and lasts until 1783. All right. 1762, Virginia disenfranchises Negroes. All right, and then the definition of disenfranchise: 1, to deprive a person of the right to vote or other rights of citizenship. 2, to deprive a place of the right to send representatives, to an elected body. 3, to deprive a business concern, etc., of some privilege or right. 4, to deprive a person, place, etc., of any franchise or right. All right, so 1962, Virginia disenfranchises Negroes. All right, now 1776, 5,000 Negro soldiers participate in the American Revolution. All right, 1776, 5,000 Negro soldiers participate in the American Revolution. All right, so under that he has Declaration of Independence describes Indians as merciless Indian savages. Thomas Jefferson's indictment of slavery is removed from the Declaration of Independence out of fear that the southern colonies, especially South Carolina and Georgia, would refuse to sign. Thomas Jefferson had many fears, the greatest of which was Negro overpopulation and the fear that slavery would increase Negro anxiety. You think? He preferred removal of Negro to Africa. Let's see. He preferred the removal of the Negro to Africa. Thomas Jefferson made the historic statement, part of which is inscribed on the Jefferson Monument in Washington, D.C. It says, "Nothing is more certainly written in the book of fate than that these people are to be free." talking about our ancestors. However, the rest of his statement has gone unnoticed. It clearly says, nor is it less certain that the two races, equally free, cannot live in the same government. End quote. Now, again, Lex covered that whole thing with the Liberty Bell, the split between the Liberty Bell, right? All right. But again, it's the date, all right, that I wanted to bring your attention to. So 1775, the American Revolution begins, lasts until 1783, all right? All right, so let me get to this article real quick. Let me get to the baby in the bathwater. All right. So there's the story, and I'll be reading some more of these as I go through them. Make sure I read them and read them in the context to which it applies. All right. Now, there's an article in here called The Black Sailor. All right. Right there. Okay. All right. Let's see. The Black Sailor. February 1778, on a clear night 2 years ago, all right, a black man named Sampson steered the British frigate Actaeon upon the treacherous channel towards Charleston, South Carolina. Gliding close behind were the Sears and the Sphinx, also piloted by Negroes. Suddenly, the whoosh of a cannonball broke the silence, and there began a violent battle with Charleston's patriot defenders. Within 5 minutes, the Actaeon's captain sent Sampson below decks and out of harm's way. After all, without him, the Actaeon might never make it back down the treacherous channel to the sea. All right. In both navies, Sampson and the British Negroes represent a growing number of black sailors serving both the Redcoats and the Patriots during the present hostilities. Black men have had little difficulty getting into naval forces compared with the problems they have encountered trying to fight on land. There has always been a shortage of sailors, and black seamen, free and slave, have been welcomed aboard colonial shipping for many years. Also, at sea, black men are more closely under the control of their superiors than they are in the army. All right. Another reason for their acceptance might be that black pilots are the best in many of the coastal areas. Black pilots are considered so valuable in South Carolina that they are the only slaves aboard ships still insured by the state. A ship's pilot steers the ship through dangerous waterways and into a port, a task that requires intimate knowledge of complex channels as well as steady hand. Let me read that again. A ship's pilot steers the ship through dangerous waterways and into port, a task that requires intimate knowledge of complex channels as well as a steady hand. Although blacks are most prized as pilots, they also serve as cabin boys and gunners. All right. Many of these black pilots have grown up along the waterways of America and know it well. Their efforts are gaining the freedom and respect. Their efforts are gaining them freedom and respect. Not too long ago, Jerry, a ship's pilot, was expecting a pardon from a jail sentence on the special request of his captain, who assured the judge that although he was a very great scoundrel, he is also a fellow we can't do very well without being an excellent pilot. Let's see, other duties. Negroes in other positions in the two navies also deserve mention. Caesar Fairweather and Sippico Brown are powder handlers on the American frigate Boston. Cotto Austin operates its #1 gun, and Cuff Freeman stands the labored watch. A gentleman in Maryland reports that two black pilot vessels, A gentleman in Maryland reports that two black piloted vessels were sent by Stephen Stewart of West River to the Maryland Council last year. Stewart wrote the council to take good care of the black men, his sailor Negroes, as he called them, since they were as fine fellows as ever crossed the sea. Perhaps the most famous black sailor is Mark Starling. He was raised as a pilot and proved a skillful one and a devoted patriot. Captain Starling, as he fondly calls himself, pilots his own vessel off the coast of Virginia and causes great damage and distress to the British vessels he encounters. White naval officers claim that because Captain Starling is honored throughout the state, he does not mind being a slave. All right, he don't mind being a slave, but he's a captain of a ship. All right, privateers offer perhaps the best opportunity for black men who want to go to sea. As we all know, they are privately owned ships commissioned by the Continental Congress as ships of war. There, no question asked, enlistment policies are very attractive to black sailors who often prefer not to reveal a background which may include a desperate escape. Crispus Attucks, an escaped slave from Framingham, Massachusetts, sailed 10 years on a privateer before being gunned down by murdering redcoats on a Boston street 8 years ago. He was one of the Revolution's first casualties. All right, so the reason why I wanted to bring that to your attention, read the story to you, because of many of these black pilots have grown up along the waterways of the Many of these black pilots have grown up along the waterways of America and know it well. All right. So, claim you brought our ancestors over from another continent. You did all these just evil, black-hearted, treacherous things to them. You bring them over here and you give them the keys to the ship. You tell them, hey, help me fight this war. All right? So, of course, the question is, how would they know how to navigate and traverse these waters if they were from someplace else? All right? So to me, that was today's baby in the bathwater. Right there. They had to have intimate knowledge of the waterways because they were familiar with the waterways because they were from America. All right. Now, you guys let me know your opinion about that. You know, like it is said, no one is above correction. All right. Let's see.